Hi, my name's Casey Walker. I'm an attorney and the founder of VA Disability Group. Today I'd like to discuss the 55-year rule. A lot of veterans take this out of context, so I think it's maybe clearing the air on this topic would be helpful to many people. So what is a 55-year rule? Well, it's someone who's the age of 55 or older, and there's protections in place that limit the VA's ability to bring you in for a future examination and a potential reduction of an evaluation once you're at the age of 55. So it's not uncommon for the VA to schedule future examinations, and when they do, they usually do it in 2 to 5 year increments, no less than 2 years, no more than 5 years out. This is quite common. I would say in about 25% of cases, there's future examinations. Where the veteran who's 55 years or older is protected is if they received a disability determination, say when they're 54 years old. The VA at that time cannot schedule a future examination because despite the veteran being under the age of 55, the regulations instruct the adjudicator to schedule it no less than 2 years out, which would mean the veteran would be 56 years of age when they have the re-examination. So that's one example of how this is functionally beneficial to a veteran. You're over the age of 55, you can't be brought in for a future periodic re-examination. There are some exceptions, and we'll discuss those, but that's a general rule, and it can be quite powerful. And this just makes sense because as we get older, our bodies start to fail us. So generally, when a veteran is over this age, they're protected, which is to suggest that they cannot be reduced or revoked in the future. The regulation I'd like to look at in regards to the 55-year rule is going to be found at 38 CFR 3.327B24. Let's just read straight from the regulation. No periodic future examinations will be requested. In service-connected cases, no periodic re-examination will be scheduled. And we're going to go down to subparagraph 4. In cases of veterans over 55 years of age, except under unusual circumstances. Again, in cases of veterans over 55 years of age, except under unusual circumstances. Leave it to an attorney to leave an exception and some legalese in there. So let's break out those exceptions. What is an unusual circumstance, which is ill-defined by the VA? Well, sometimes a regulation will require an adjudicator or a decision maker to schedule a future exam. So specifically, if you're looking at cancer regulations found in 38 CFR Part 4, any type of cancer has a stabilization period. And what that's to suggest when they're in an active cancer, they get paid at the 100% rate. But the adjudicator has no discretion. They must schedule a future exam after 6 months or a year. If that veteran's cancer is still active at that time, then they're going to repeat that cycle every 6 months or a year, depending on the regulation and how far out they have to schedule the re-exam. That would be an unusual circumstance. Not a lot of people have cancer, so that would be one of those unique circumstances. Another one would be a joint replacement. If a veteran had, say, a knee or a hip replaced, the regulation instructs the adjudicator to give a temporary 100%, and then to schedule them for a re-examination to determine the degree of that veteran's impairment after the stabilization occurs with the new surgical implant. So those are but two examples of what constitutes an unusual circumstance. Thinking outside the box, if you have sleep apnea, most veterans treat their sleep apnea with a machine called a CPAP machine or a BiPAP machine. And there's a new implant you can get through a company known as Inspire, where they'll actually do an implant that stimulates the tongue muscles. And every time you breathe, your tongue comes out a little bit, and it opens up that airway. So the goal of this is to get rid of the CPAP and to have an easier method for a veteran to treat their sleep apnea. The problem here is this could constitute an unusual circumstance. If an adjudicator sees that a veteran had the Inspire implant, they might not need that CPAP, but the regulations instruct adjudicators to award a 50% for sleep apnea if they necessitate a CPAP. So you see this conundrum here. So that might be an example of an unusual circumstance. But let's go back to the general rule here. If you're over the age of 55, you're generally protected absent unusual circumstances. One last consideration is that a veteran should not confuse this with the VA's 10 and 20-year rule. Those are separate things. This has nothing to do with the 10-year rule or the 20-year rule. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this helpful. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Comment below. Have a good day.